ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್.
ಇದು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಹಾಕೋದಿದ್ರೆ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಕಾಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೇರೆ ನೀವು ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರ. Okay, good morning all. So today's topic of discussion for our competitive exams, especially the Karnataka CET, biotechnology. So one of the interesting topic, biotechnology. There are two chapters, biotechnology and its principle. Another is biotechnology and application. So let us start. First, the biotechnology principle and process chapter, related questions. So before that, again, a brief synopsis regarding that. In the principle and processes, they have mainly given the tools used in the biotechnology or recombinant DNA technology. That's one of the major branch of biotechnology. Usually we correlate the biotechnology and recombinant DNA technology as the fish and water. If biotechnology is a fish, recombinant DNA technology is a water. Means the biotechnology mainly because of recombinant DNA technology. So in that whole chapter, that is in principle and process of biotechnology, they have spoken about recombinant DNA technology. Under which tools used? There are different tools we use in this technology for manipulating the genetic makeup of an organism. Therefore, to understand those tools, you must have a synaptic idea, such as the vector, the tool used, one of the tool in the recombinant DNA technology, vector, usually for carrying the genetic what you call material or gene of interest, a foreign gene. There are different terms for the same. From one organism to the another organism. What you call the gene of interest to the organism of interest. Usually we say in that form. Taking a gene from one organism, which is the gene of interest, and transferring that into the another organism, which is the organism of interest. Okay. The vector usually is a vehicle. We can also use that word to carry our gene of interest. And of course, there are different vectors is being used. In upcoming questions, I'll discuss all those things. As I told, keep telling in the previous classes also. If you start discussing this synapses, it takes 2-3 hours. As we have time limit, therefore, let us only go to the brief of synapses. Then the other tools are enzyme. Usually we use the enzyme related to the nucleic acid and nucleus, DNA, RNA related enzymes. Basically two types of enzyme. One is the what you call molecular scissors to cut the DNA, to remove what you call desired gene from the whole DNA by cutting that part of DNA as a desired gene. Then uh, joining that DNA, gene of interest, with the vector DNA or to the directly to the host DNA, we need one more enzyme called molecular glue or gum, that is uh, DNA, what do you call it? DNA ligase. So these some questions were sorry, these some enzymes we are going to discuss. Related to that also there are some questions. Then we use a bioreactor finally to culture our gene, to clone our gene in an organism, in a cell. we used to multiply that organism or cell into enormous number. For that, we need a equipment, what you call bioreactor. Or we also use some type fermenter because most of the activity taking place is anaerobic activities in the bioreactor. However, bioreactor is the suitable word here we use. And of course, different bioreactors are there with various facilities. Regarding that also, I think one or two questions we have taken. So finally, by using all these tools, we are making a recombinant DNA. That is joining our gene of interest with the vector DNA or with the organism DNA, making two different DNA joining together. That is recombinant DNA. And the steps involved in recombinant DNA that has been dealt in this chapter. And related to that, there are many questions. Meanwhile, whenever we say that is the steps involved means, first of all, the isolation of DNA from an organism from the cell, then treating that DNA so as to obtain the different fragment. That is, we also do here the gel electrophoresis. After that, from gel electrophoresis, a particular fragment of DNA we remove, what you call elution. Then that particular DNA is the gene of interest that we are going to combine with the host DNA or vector DNA, that is the recombinant DNA. Finally, that recombinant DNA is transferred to the host cell. Of course, host cell is one of the tool. There are different hosts being used. Regarding that also there are few questions. Then under in the host cell, when that recombinant DNA is received by host cell, that host cell is called transformed cell, and that transformed cell we are going to select whether they are transformed or non-transformed, with various means that we will discuss in some questions. Finally, the transformed cells are going to be cultured in a large scale so as to produce our product. Okay. So this is some briefing of the principle and process chapter. Let us, in spite of wasting time behind this again and again, directly come to the topic, that is discussing competitive MCQ questions. So the first question here, that is the introductory part. A term biotechnology was coined by. So biotechnology, that is the term, was coined by. Okay. So options: Alec Jeffrey, Carrie Mullis, H.O. Smith, Con Eric. So of course, the term biotechnology was coined by the person called Eric. He is the one who used or who coined the term biotechnology. Whereas Alec Jaffrey, as you know, in the previous class itself, he is the one who given the DNA fingerprinting technique. Okay. Then Carey Mullis, he is the one who first, what do you call, explained the PCR, polymerase chain reaction, where H.O. Smith, the person who identified restriction endonuclease enzyme, the first restriction endonuclease that is discovered is by H.O. Smith. The question may be regarding Carey Mullis and Smith we can expect here as a part of biotechnology chapter. That is, who discovered or who given PCR technique. Okay. Then who discovered the first restriction endonuclease? That is one of the enzyme, very important enzyme, which is commonly called molecular scissor to cut the DNA. I think no need to further explanation of this question. It's a direct question. The term biotechnology was coined by Carl Eric is the answer. Now next question. A suitable method of transformation of with recombinant DNA for plant in which cells are bombarded with high velocity microparticle of gold or tungsten coated with DNA is. Now, this is the concept related to transferring of the recombinant DNA into the host cell. There are different methods. Few of the methods as given in the option, such as we can transfer the recombinant DNA into the host by using the vector like plasmid, one of the method, or another is by using what you call retroviruses, disarmed pathogen we can call disarmed retroviruses to the human most of the time, human cells to transfer in the recombinant DNA. Or the other methods like in the option biolistic microinjection method. Here, biolistic and gene gun both are the same. Same methods which has synonymous meaning, biolistic or gene gun. So, hope you got the answer for the question where recombinant DNA for plant in the cell are bombarded with high velocity of microparticles or gold star. Actually, this is the definition called biolistic. But if we call what is biolistic, at that time we use this as the explanation for that, as an answer for that. So therefore, I just told biolistic and gene gun are both the same techniques. So therefore, the answer is both A and C. So in this method, we coat our DNA with gold or tungsten particle. Then with the high speed, we shoot that DNA. It's something like a using a rifle. Okay, so we shoot that DNA, keeping the cell in front of that. As it with the high velocity, as a speed it travels, it reaches directly to the nucleus, where it combined with the host DNA and form the or start showing its characters. So that's about this question. It's one of the questions related to method of transferring the recombinant DNA into the host cell or gene of interest into the host cell. Now, next question. Which of the following palindromic sequences is recognized by ECO R1? Now, it is ECO R1 is an enzyme. Optime is a restriction in the endonucleus, first of all. ECO R1 is a restriction endonucleus. In the sense, it is an enzyme which cuts the DNA at specific point, a specific part of the DNA, what you call palindromic sequence. As all of you know, the palindromic sequence, it is the sequence of nitrogen base which reads same on either direction. Either direction is the same. If you start reading this from 5 prime to 3 prime, it will be the same. And in the opposite side, from same 5 prime to 3 prime to 5 prime, if you read that, it will be same. For instance, what has given in the option all are palindromic sequence only. The first one you can look at GAATTC from 5 prime to 3 prime. If you come again in from opposite strand, same GAATTC. If you read from again from 5 prime to 3 prime in the opposite strand. So that's what the palindromic sequence are the nucleotides, so nitrogen bases which reads same on either direction. So all are palindromic sequence only here in the option. Now let us analyze the question. Which of the following palindromic sequence? In this sense, they have cleared you that what is given on the palindromic sequence. Recognized by EcoR1, we have many restriction endonucleases. Okay, so they have been named, and even that concept has been explained in the principle naming of an REM. It's almost similar to binomial nomenclature, where the first word of that enzyme name begins with capital and it stands for the genus. Okay, and here E stands to Escherichia. Okay, where CO stands to coli. So Escherichia coli, this is the enzyme which is being formed in Escherichia coli. R1 usually from the strain from which it is extracted. 1, 2, 3, it represents the sequence of number of extraction. Okay. So what we got, EcoR1 is an endo-restriction nuclease enzyme which cut a particular part of DNA called palindromic sequence. Palindromic sequence are nothing but the nitrogen bases which read same on either direction. Now, different RNAs cut the DNA in two fashion. One is, for instance, the first one, if you observe, I have shown an arrow mark. That is, after G, it cuts on either strands, as they leave a sticky or extension of chain. There are words, and such extended chain leaving the DNA in a gene, what you call the sticky ends. So one of the method of giving sticky end by RNA, another method blunt ends. For instance, in the B option and in the C option, you can see where A and D gives sticky ends as a single chain, 5 to 6 nucleotide extensions, wherein B and C, you can see the aroma, they are cleaving exactly at the center on the both sides, as there is no extension of the chain of that gene, and that is what we call blunt ends. If what you call, if you obtain blunt end DNAs, you have to, before joining that DNA into the another DNA, you need to perform chain extension method. Okay, that is, you need to add few nucleotides on either direction so that it exactly fits with the host or another DNA. Okay, basically called host DNA. So therefore, our vector DNA. Most of the enzyme they cleave the gene of interest in the sticky end form, because it makes very easy for joining to DNA molecule by making complementary, because we cut the DNA, both host DNA and the gene of interest using same RNA. Okay, so therefore we get similar type of sticky ends which are complementary to each other. Therefore, they can make bond very easily and join what you call it, quickly or easily. So, which of the following palindromic sequences is recognized by EcoR1? Of course, all are with palindromic sequence. Under that, EcoR1 will be cleaved the sequence that is GAATTC. Like that, if you keep on talking, the second one is the so answer for this question is A. GATTC is the palindromic sequence to which EcoR1 acts. For B, CCGG, this is the one more palindromic sequence giving blunt end. This is cleaved by what you call small SMAL, small enzyme. That is the name of the restriction enzyme called small. It is behind the organism, what you call the serantine marcescens. One of the bacterial names, Serantine marcescens. That bacteria shows the presence of an enzyme, RN called small. When we use that, we cut this palindromic sequence CCGG. Okay. Similarly, ACT, that is by one more enzyme, SCAL, SCAL enzyme, that is of course from Streptomyces what do you call it? Sepitosus, that is the genus name. So like that, we extract different restriction endonucleases which act on the different palindromic sequence of the DNA. Of course, the last one, GGA-DTC, it is by BAM H1. Okay, that is Bacillus amyphilus and restriction enzyme. Okay, so most of, as the part of discussion of our board or NCERT textbook, mainly the option A and option D can be expected as the question because these enzymes and their palindromic sequence has been taught in the NCERT. Related to SCAL and SMART, there are some extra reading questions. Okay, however, that is the one more restriction endonuclease. Now, a diagram based question here. So, given is the diagram of a plasmid PBR 322. There are many labelings in that. So, they are asking you to identify A, B, C, and D. Here in this diagram, some part has been mentioned as A, B, C, D, and D, whereas the same question by different other labeling has been might be asked you to identify. Hope you are understanding. Now, in this diagram, ABCD is the particular parts of this vector that you need to identify now. But keeping in this mind, same diagram, ABCD will be, for instance, hint 1 has given, that may ask as A, Sol 1 has given, that may ask as B, then what do you call the rope that Mac has be like that. They may change A, B, C, D labeling parts so that we should identify that. Now, this is let us identify which part is the A, B, C, and D. So A is the region. If you look, if you have been know already diagram, you might know the answer by this time. A is called echo R1. That part is echo R1. Now B, it is the region called the BAM H1, which is a particular point cleaved by an enzyme BAM H. Then the C is AMPR, ampicillin resistant region. That is the one of the antibiotic resistant gene, that is that part of DNA between the PVU1 and PST1. That in between that part is the AMPR. This is the DNA which acts as an antibiotic resistant gene. So, and finally the D, option D is the Ori site or Ori site, origin of replication site. So this site is very important in the plasmid, and this site make the using of plasmid as a vector to the host cell. As it has Ori site, it can self-replicate itself. It multiplies in the host cell whenever host cell divides. So that's the one of the important point of using the plasmid PBR322 as a vector. Or simply not PBR32, particularly plasmid as a vector because it has some properties. Regarding that, of course, there are few other questions are there. Somehow, one of the main property that it's an oricide that responsible for making the plasmid itself replicate. Okay, hope you got the answer. Option D is the answer here. That is, if I'm sorry, here answer type is option type is given abruptly. That is, we have to go for the vertical line. Okay, A, B, C, D. A is, of course, uh, option 4 is the answer here. Eco R1, BAMH, AMPR, for C and D or is set. Okay. Option 4 instead of A, B, C, D, they have given 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Next question. When a recombinant DNA is inserted within the coding sequence of an enzyme, beta-galactosidase. Now, when a recombinant DNA is inserted within the coding sequence of an enzyme beta-galactosidase, now what happens they are asking. So, usually we insert our gene of interest in the plasmid or in the host cell in a specific region, that is by replacing with other gene. So this is basically what we call the uh, what we call insertional inactivation. First thing, when you do so, insertional inactivation, what happens? For instance, in the question they have given, we are inserting the recombinant DNA in the coding sequence of an enzyme beta-galactose. Coding sequence of an enzyme in the sense that is a particular gene that we removed, which is responsible for producing beta-galactosidase. In that region, what we have inserted our recombinant DNA. Hence, we remove that beta-galactosidase gene from the host DNA. What happens? That gene is removed, so that product is also not produced. As this is what we call insertional inactivation. We have inserted our recombinant DNA and we are making a particular gene inactive as it is observed there. So 1 point. So B is the answer here. But when we do so, of course, as a result, we don't obtain beta-galactosidase enzyme. So the result into inactivation the enzyme. Again, we also don't find enzyme. So A is also the answer here. As when we're going to test the presence or absence of beta-galactosidase in the host cell, there are two methods. One, we just heard, insertional inactivation method. Another is called antibiotic resistant method. Antibiotic resistant method we use for plasmid, where inserting directly the recombinant DNA into the host cell. At that time, we use the chromogenic substrate method. So here, the colony do not produce any color. So presence of beta-galactosidase growing in a particular media gives the blue color colonies. If there is no presence of beta-galactosidase, there will be no color in the colonies of bacterial culture. As such, we don't find the color. Therefore, for this question especially, recombinant DNA inserted into the beta-galactosidase part of DNA of the host make, first of all, insertional inactivation, also result in the absence of that enzyme. Also, when we are going to test the colonies for the presence of beta-galactosidase, we find there is no coloration as no reaction for the beta-galactosidase. So answer is all of these. Okay, so these are all the methods where we can identify a host cell having our recombinant DNA or not. Okay, so chromogenic substrate method is one of the method to identify the host cell having our recombinant DNA or not. Okay, so next question. Restriction endonuclease, as just told, these are the enzymes found in various bacteria, act on DNA, affect the DNA in between, as hence the name endonuclease. They cut the DNA in between and gives the fragments of DNA. And these RNs, they may cut the DNA in between. If they cut the DNA from one end, they are called exonuclease, that we thought in the previous class, molecular basis of inheritance. So cutting DNA molecule at random. Cutting DNA molecule from specific palindromic site. So I came to the option now, restriction endonuclease regarding that. They are asking their function, restricted DNA synthesis, synthesis DNA. So they are not related to synthesis of DNA, so you can skip the option C and D. For the synthesis of DNA, as you know, the enzyme polymerase. Okay, DNA polymerase. Now cut the DNA molecule at random. So this enzyme cut the DNA molecule at a particular or specific point, as I told you in the previous question, not randomly. They cannot cut the DNA randomly. It cut specifically at a particular point. As you know, that point is called palindromic sequence. So restriction in nucleases cut the DNA from a specific palindromic site, not randomly. Okay, so that is the one answer for this. It's a direct question. Next is echo cut palindromic sequence, which produces overhanging stretches called sticky ends on each strand. These are named sticky because. So this also have told in the previous discussion that DNA, RNA when acts on a DNA, it leaves a small chain extended extension on either direction. In between is a DNA, and either direction it gives in the both strand the single stranded extensions, and that extensions are called sticky ends. Now, why they are called sticky ends? That's even I have told, as that's the answer for this question. We have to find out. They can combine with any DNA. So no, they cannot combine with any DNA. They can combine with only DNA which is complementary to the sticky ends. Okay, keep this point in mind. The sticky end gene or sticky ended DNA combined with another DNA with the same complementary sticky ends. So they form hydrogen bond with their complementary cut counterparts. So they simply do not form, sorry, yes, they form hydrogen bond with their complementary cut counterparts. Counterparts in the sense another other host DNA. So that's the answer here. They facilitate the action of the enzyme DNA ligase. No, basically it is not required. Somehow DNA ligase, whenever it finds two complementary nitrogen bases, it join the fragments. So answer is they form hydrogen bond with their complementary cut counterpart. Okay, need not that if they are sticky and then only the DNA ligase functions. It's not so. Whenever there is a two nitrogen bases complementary to each other, the DNA ligase coming part by making hydrogen bond between them to join them. Okay. Okay, so that's about the question 7. It's again direct question related to the theoretical part. Which vector is used to deliver gene in animal cell? As I told, vector, they're used as a vehicle to transfer our gene of interest to another cell, that is host cell. So a host cell may be a plant cell, a host cell may be an animal cell, a host cell may be a bacteria or other any organisms. Now they have mentioned animal cell. So here the host cell is animal cell. The vector is used to deliver gene in animal cell is. So even I have told for animal cell the most commonly using vector is the retrovirus. As you know, retrovirus means the virus having RNA as a genetic material. Simply, in simple sense, we use this term for retrovirus. That is the virus with RNA as a genetic material. Now, there are two options having retroviruses. Type plasmid. Actually, we have different plasmids like PBR322, PUC18, here one more type plasmid, etc. Now, one of the plasmid, regarding type plasmid, there are questions. That time I am going to discuss that. So, what do you call here? The E. coli. E. coli is not a, sorry, of course, E. coli is a bacteria. Here you don't use bacteria for animal transferring the gene to the animal cells. So retroviruses are the answer. Now there are two options A and B. Under A is simply retroviruses, under B it is disarm retroviruses. Now which is the most appropriate is answer is disarm retroviruses, because using retroviruses, because poliovirus is also a retrovirus, HIV is also a retrovirus. Using such virus will not help us to transfer the gene. In turns, it provide diseases. So we have to use disarm retroviruses. Means the virus will do not harm or will do not cause any disease. Okay. Or we have to make the virus in that sense in such a way it should not cause disease. We have to remove their pathogenicity. There are techniques nowadays that where we can do so. Somehow we use RNA virus, which is not, do not cause any diseases in human. Such viruses are used as a vector here. Okay, that's the one thing. Next, bacteriophages are used in biotechnology as, again, bacteriophages. But you know this. These are viruses again. Bacteriophages are also viruses, not called, sorry. Bacteriophages are also viruses. They have name bacteria, basically phages. Okay, PHAGES, phages. That is for one more name to the virus. Bacteriophages, the virus which infect bacteria, are called bacteriophages, are used in biotechnology as. Now, because bacteriophages are the viruses infect bacteria, and they are using in biotechnology. Has what is the answer you have to identify here? Vector or vehicle DNA, cloning organism, restriction enzyme synthesis, none of this. So bacteriophages are as a virus. In the similar way, we as retroviruses we use to transfer the gene into the human cell. Here bacteriophages are used to transfer the gene into the bacteria. Okay, as they infect bacteria. Of course, they infect, but they do not found to be cause any disease in bacteria. So, as such, we can use bacteriophages as one of the type of vector to transfer the gene of interest to the bacteria very easily. And of course, that answer is as a vector, okay, or vehicle of DNA. So we use vector or vehicle, vector as bacteriophages to transfer the gene into the bacteria as a host cell. That's very important. Not for the plants or animals. It's not a cloning organism. Bacteriophages are not the cloning organism. Here, cloning organism is the bacteria itself. So, restriction enzyme synthesizer is not related. Let us move on to the next question. The ability to form tumor is found in plasmid of. So, I have told in the previous question that Ti plasmid. So, Ti plasmid is one of the plasmid which is having a gene called Ti gene, Ti gene, that stand for tumor inducing gene, as it induces tumor, that is cancer. Where? In the plants. So in the plants we find the tumor, what you call crown gall disease. Basically the disease caused by this gene in plant after the infection of the bacteria having this gene in its genome, sorry, not in its genome, in its plasmid. That is answer here. The ability to form tumor is found in the plasmid of. So this plasmid is found in a bacteria. As I just told in the previous questions, if you keep remembering my words, that plasmids are found in few bacteria. Now E. coli, it's not the answer for here, where its plasmid doesn't have what you call Ti or tumor inducing gene. Pseudomonas, of course, it is the bacteria, but even Pseudomonas doesn't have the tumor inducing gene. So I'll directly come to the answer, Agrobacterium. The genus Agrobacterium. Agrobacterium tumefaciens is the full scientific name of this bacteria. Very commonly, oftenly used in the recombinant DNA technology. as to infect, to transfer the gene into the host cell directly, or we use its plasmid. We use this bacteria also or its plasmid. Basically, its plasmid has taken, and in that plasmid we have inserted the recombinant DNA. Then we put that plasmid back to the Agrobacterium tumefaciens, and that Agrobacterium tumefaciens with the recombinant DNA is allowed to infect the plant cell to transfer that recombinant DNA into the plants. So this is basically the method we follow. So the ability to form tumor is found in the plasmid of Agrobacterium tumefaciens, as a plasmid is called T-plasmid, as that plasmid contains tumor-inducing gene. Okay. Now you may get a question. So if you transfer, if you use Agrobacterium tumefaciens, and if you transfer that into the bacteria, into the plant cell, don't it cause cancer in that plant cell or in that plant? Of course it causes. But what we usually do, we remove that tie gene before transferring before infecting agrobacterium to the plant cell. As we remove the what you call tumor-inducing gene, it is unable to cause tumor. Okay, so this is the basic step we follow. Before allowing the agrobacterium to infect our organism of interested plant, we remove the gene from its plasmid so that it is unable to cause the uh, tumor. Okay. Next question. Engineered bacteria are produced by inserting. Basically, engineered bacteria are nothing but the bacteria having recombinant DNA. That's the mean, engineered bacteria. It doesn't mean that the bacteria is engineered here. Okay. Engineered bacteria, the bacteria having a recombinant DNA is called engineered bacteria, or the bacteria whose genetic makeup is manipulated by means of using recombinant DNA technology. So, in engineered bacteria or genetic engineering, we can also say either removing some genes or adding some genes. These are all possible. Such is named engineered bacteria are produced by inserting plasmid DNA, desired DNA genes loaded on vector DNA, vehicle DNA, phage DNA. So engineered bacteria are produced by inserting, in very simple sense, I just explained, the gene of interest, directly inserting the gene into the host, that bacterial DNA, or through vector. Okay, not by inserting the simply plasmid, transferring, because they already have plasmid, the bacteria, so that doesn't make it as engineered bacteria. Okay, if it has a foreign gene in that plasmid, then at that time it is called engineered bacteria. So doing that, inserting that gene of interest into the plasmid or vector, at that time it is called. So plasmid DNA or vehicle DNA both are same. Phage DNA, as just told, phage are nothing but viruses. Viral DNA, simply transferring the viral DNA into the bacteria, no use. That doesn't make it as an engineered bacteria. That simply we call infection. Okay. An antibiotic resistant gene in a vector usually help in the selection of the next question. An antibiotic resistant gene in a vector usually help in the selection of. So I just told in the previous question, we can what you call insert our gene either to the antibiotic resistant uh, genes in the plasmid, or as in the previous told, at a particular functional gene like beta galactosidase as insertional inactivation. Now here, now, as per the question, antibiotic resistant genes are present in the plasmid of that bacteria. Whichever the bacteria having the plasmid and the antibiotic plasmid, they have some antibiotic gene in that, and they are resistant to that antibiotics. For instance, PBR322, if you take, so that is plasmid of polyvalent rodentgens. First of all, keep it in mind, make yourself clear. PBR322 is not a natural plasmid. Okay, it is the plasmid created by Bolivar and Roderick Jens, two of the molecular biologists, they have manipulated a normal plasmid of E. coli in such a way that we can use that as a most easily as an vector to transfer of gene of interest into the host cell. During that time, they have added or removed many parts, multiple genetic manipulation. In that sense, they have added two antibiotic resistant genes in that BBR322. One is ampicillin resistant gene, another is tetracycline resistant gene. Most of the time, to any of these two genes, we insert, we cut that gene and we insert our gene of interest in that, replace that gene of interest in that part. So that we can use that antibiotic resistant gene as a marker so that we can identify which is a transformed and which is a non-transformed cell. Now make clear here what are transformed cells. The cells having our recombinant DNA in it are called transformed cell. The cell without having our recombinant DNA are called non-transformed cells. Now, whenever we put our recombinant DNA plasmid into a media having bacteria as a host cell, we make that bacteria competent. There are few questions related to that also. We have to make that bacteria competent. Now you may get a question, what is mean competent? Plasmid is a bit large molecule, comparatively speaking, to other molecules, which can easily pass through the bacterial wall. Okay, plasmid is larger, that naturally impossible for transfer getting passed through the bacterial wall into the bacteria. As in this situation, we must see that plasmid should easily get into the bacterial cell through its wall. For that, we need the bacteria competent, means easily take our plasmid into that, or easily take our recombinant DNA into that. For that, we need to treat that bacteria. Naturally, don't take. Now, forcibly, we have to induce by applying certain techniques, like giving a heat shock. That means suddenly heating the bacteria to a particular temperature and then suddenly cooling. That make the wall pores larger so that a large molecule like recombinant DNA get into the bacteria. Or we have to treat with calcium chloride solution that change the permeability of the wall and membrane of the bacteria to take our recombinant DNA. Or we have to give electric shock. Okay, sudden electric shock for a short period of time may also make the membrane pores permeable to the recombinant DNA. When we do so, our recombinant DNA get into the plasmid. Many of the, suppose I have added 100 recombinant plasmids, 100 bacteria are there. Chances are that some bacteria may not competent and they do not take our recombinant DNA. At that time, growing all that 100 bacteria to millions and billions, in that few bacteria have not taken our recombinant DNA and they are now called non-transformed cell. They simply make use of food space but do not produce the product. So it makes some disadvantage in our process. So to confirm which is transformed and which is non-transformed, we have to what do you call it? Use antibiotic resistant genes here. By testing particular antibiotic on that bacteria, if they are having our foreign gene, they survive. If they do not having our foreign gene, they kill by antibiotic. Somehow, that all the theoretical parts we have studied. Now, the antibiotic resistant gene in a vector usually help in selection of very simple thing. Keep on talking on that topic only till now. The answer is transformed cell, not competent. I just told the difference between transformed and competent. Competent is the bacteria, competent cell is the cell which simply take the large molecule like recombinant DNA molecule into it, that is competent. After taking that recombinant DNA, now the cell is called transformed cell. Okay, not recombinant. We don't use this cell as a recombinant cell. Okay, we use recombinant DNA, not cell. So that is the term given here, just to make you confuse. Okay, so next, which of the following statement is incorrect? Now, some statement has given. You have to find which is the incorrect statements they have mentioned, but as an option they have given only A, B, C, D, not multiple. So, statement single. One should be a wrong statement here. So tDNA is present in diplasmid. Of course, T stands to tumor DNA. So plasmid is the extra chromosomal DNA. Whenever we define plasmid, we define it as a circular double-stranded extra chromosomal DNA. So no doubt it is a DNA. Of course, it is the DNA having tumor gene, cancerous gene. That is the correct one. Retroviruses convert common cells to cancer cells. Of course, many retroviruses act as carcinogens, as they cause cancers. So therefore, retroviruses convert common cell into cancer cell. That is the true statement. PBR322 is a natural plasmid. I just thought in the previous discussion, PBR322 is not a natural plasmid. It is the plasmid which is genetically manipulated, artificially constricted by Bolivar and Rodring genes. Okay, so it is not a natural one. It is man-made artificial plasmid or genetically manipulated plasmid. So that's the wrong statement or incorrect one here. Agrobacterium tumefacium is a natural genetic engineer. Of course, Agrobacterium tumefacium can be used to transfer our gene of interest into the host cell directly, as it is can act as a genetic natural genetic engineer. That is one of the title given to Agrobacterium tumefacium. Next, which of the following organism is not correctly matched with its cell wall degrading enzyme? So these are all direct questions. Now, to extract the DNA before identifying or isolating the gene, we need to extract the DNA. The first step of extracting DNA is to break the cell wall so that nucleus should be free. As plant cells, cellulose. No doubt, plant cells are made up of cellulose. If you add cellulase, plant cell wall will be digested. So right match. Algae, methylase. Algae cell wall is made up of chitin. To break that, you need the enzyme called chitinase. Sorry, my mistake. Algae cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan, not methylase. Fungi is chitinase enzyme, right match. Bacteria, that is bacterial cell wall is, just a minute. So algae is also a plant that is also having cellulose. So cellulose has to be used here, not methylase. That is the wrong one. Where fungi chitinase, bacteria lysozyme. So adding lysozyme enzyme will digest the bacteria, leaving the nucleus. So here option B is the wrong one. Characteristic or mismatch, not correctly matching one is the B. Now the question, characteristic of vector include all except. I just told vector will have some various characters. In that, having voricide is one of the character. Antibiotic resistant gene or selectable molecule is also a character. Large in size is not the character. It should be smaller as they can easily get into the bacterial cell. Okay. So multiple cloning site, of course, plasmid will have multiple cloning site where we can insert many foreign genes. Okay. Next question. Although the diplasmid has revolutionized plant genetic engineering, one limitation of its use is that, so you have to continue the statement by giving a proper, selecting a proper option, cannot infect broad leaf plants. cannot be used on fruit-bearing plants, cannot transmit prokaryotic gene, cannot transmit into the prokaryotic gene, does not infect cell plants such as corn and rice. So here, typlasmic, that is tumor-inducing plasmid present in the Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Usually, you can find Agrobacterium. Agrobacterium tumefaciens infect majority of dicot plants. Okay, that is the hint for the answer. Broadleaf plants, in the sense dicot plants, they infect. They are telling is not what you call it. Limitation of its use is that there are some limitations. We cannot apply this agrobacterium tumefaciens to all. That is the simple thing here. Now, what does that mean? We cannot use to infect cereals such as corn and rice. That is the monocot. Agrobacterium tumefaciens typlasmid can only infect the dicot plants. Majority of dicot plants get infected. There are some dicot plants even which do not get infected with the Agrobacterium tumefaciens. So therefore, answer is the limitation is we cannot use it for monocot like corn and rice. Okay, that's the simple thing. Next, each restriction endonucleases function by inspecting the length of DNA sequence it cleaved dash. You have to fill that dash continuous. Each restriction nucleus function by inspecting the length of the DNA sequence. By leaving only the master strand to produce sticky ends, sense strand of DNA to produce sticky end. Each of the two strands of double helix at specific point to their sugar phosphate backbones. So each of the two strands. That is the right answer. Messenger RNA to remove exon. So it do not act on RNA at all. It acts only on DNA, and as a DNA, it gives two sticky ends on either strands of the DNA. That is the right one. Next question. In isolation of genetic material, that is DNA from nucleus, the RNA can be removed by ribonuclease and the protein by protease. Purified DNA then precipitate after the addition. So, we know in the extraction of DNA, after removing cell wall, we will get cytoplasm and nucleic acid. Cytoplasm has protein, lipids, fats, carbohydrates, etc. So to remove all those, we keep on adding respected enzyme like protease, carbohydrates, lipases to digest these things, except nucleus. If you add nucleus, that to DNAs, you will need to break the DNA. But we need DNA, so we do not add DNA. Now finally, the DNA is there in the sample. Now we need only DNA as we do precipitation of the DNA by adding each of the following chemical we are asking: calcium chloride, ether, chilled ethanol, acetic acid. So we need to add chilled ethanol to precipitate out DNA as a fine threads. Okay, and that DNA will be take out. Okay. So that is the simple method of taking DNA from this sample after removing all the other biomolecules. Which one of the following is commonly used in the transferring of foreign DNA to the crop plant? So just thought to the crop plant in the sense plant, basically plant, irrespective whether it is crop plant or other plants. So which of the following commonly used as transferring of our DNA? That is vector. To the crop plant, it is Agrobacterium tumefaciens that we use. Penicillium expansum is not. It's just a type of penicillin that is commonly called blue mold, and it's a pathogenic penicillium called blue mold in apple. So they usually infect apple. Trichoderma hazarium is one of the fungi that is basically act as a useful fungi. If this fungi grows, it prevents the other fungi fungal infection. As this fungi act as a fungicide. Okay, so antagonistic we can call it. Menitogyne ignatia, that is one of the nematode causing infection in cotton called root knot disease in cotton. Regarding that, we discuss in application. So answer is Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Electroporation involves. So it is the method as just told to make competent the pores of the bacterial cell to receive a recombinant DNA. We use different methods, either treatment with the chemicals or treatment with the electric current. So electroporation, it is making transient pores in cell membrane to facilitate the entry of gene construct. Poration of seed germination by new, sorry. So answer is uh, just for making transient pore in cell membrane of the host cell to facilitate the entry of gene of construct, that is the plasmid, not the other things. Purification and all these things are not the answer here. They are just simply given some nuisance. Significance of heat shock method in bacteria transformation is to facilitate same thing. Uptake of DNA through transient pores in the bacterial cell wall. So one is by electric current, electroporation. Now another is heat shock method here. So as just already told these things, different methods. Since DNA has a dash charge, it moves toward dash electrodes of the electrophoretic chamber. So gel electrophoresis technique, he has given the question. So as you know, DNA is a negatively charged molecule as it moves towards positively charged, so that we use this principle for separating the DNA fragments for extracting our gene of interest. Now, during gel electrophoresis, for separation of DNA fragment, so during gel electrophoresis, what happens? Smaller the fragment, faster its movement. So therefore, smallest fragment will move towards faster point. Now the question is whether it is cathode or anode. That I have just told in the positive current they move. So anode. Next, match the column 1 with column 2 and select the correct one. Southern blotting, this is the technique we use for transferring of DNA fragment from gel to the nylon sheet. So this is about DNA fingerprinting. Gel electrophoresis. Gel electrophoresis directly has given it is used for running of DNA fragment on a gel slab. That's why it is named gel electrophoresis, and the principles of positive and negative charge. Cleavage, nothing but cutting of DNA into fragments. So DNA probing is nothing but searching of desired DNA fragment. So option, as per that, B is the right answer here. Next, illusion is the method of applied. Illusion is a method applied by. So finally, on gel electrophoresis, according to the size towards positive current, all the DNA fragment moves and they are arranged in different lengths. In that particular length of DNA is our gene of interest. So on the gel slab directly we applied color. We make the color DNA appear by staining them. And the stain used here is ethidium bromide. That made the DNA fragment to be appeared as a orange, light orange bands. So DNA is visible on the gel slab. Now it's very easy to identify the DNA and remove the DNA. Thereafter staining, we cut a particular point, fragment of DNA from the slab. We consider it just a jelly sheet, and that there are different fragments. Whatever our DNA is, we just simply cut out the DNA and take it out. And that whole method is called elution, and that's the answer. Making the matrix during gel electrophoresis, no. Staining the bands of DNA after electrophoresis. After electrophoresis, of course, we stain, but that method is not elution. It's simply called staining. That's it. Cutting out the place of agarose gel and extract the DNA from a gel piece. That is the answer here. Joining the specific DNA with the cloning vector, that is recombinant DNA, not elution. So elution, what is elution might be an important question in the theory, but since theory exams are cancelled, as CAT they have given that as a answer, cutting off the place of agarose gel and extracting the DNA from gel slab. So keep moving. Gene for which of the following can serve as selectable marker? As just told, we can use beta galactosidase as a gene for what you call insertional inactivation method for identifying transformed cell or antibiotic resistant property as gene marker, ampicillin and tetracycline. So answer is all of these. We can use any of these for to select the transformed cell. The most commonly used in bioreactor is stir type. Now, one more tool, stir type. The stir facility. So we have two types of sparge bioreactor, stir bioreactor. So commonly used is stir bioreactor. As compared to sparge bioreactor, it has one additional property, that is oxygen availability. It supplies continuous oxygen, and see that that oxygen should properly mix with the media so that the organism that we are growing should grow faster and in good amount. That's the only simple thing here. So 28, it is not related to here, it is related to application. So however, I'll skip this question. Transgenic plants are the one. This is the question for application, not here. Next chapter, I'll take that question. Match the column 1 and column 2 and select the correct option he has given. Primer. So usually we use primer for PCR method, polymerase chain reaction. We need a initial what do you call it, molecule of DNA, so that should extend as a new DNA molecule. As you know, PCR is used for multiplying the or amplifying the gene of interest. So primer is used for PCR. Separation and purification of product, as you know, it's a downstreaming process. That is one of the last topic in this chapter, downstreaming process. We use purify. First of all, we separate and purify before it is marketed uh, in the market. Okay, for the human use. That is downstreaming process. Precipitation of DNA, of course, just thought in the previous class, when you put chilled ethanol, DNA precipitate out and that can be take out from the sample. Transformation, uptake of foreign DNA by bacteria. Whenever bacteria uptake our foreign DNA or our recombinant DNA, is called transformation or transformed cell. So the answer is A for that, of course, by making the match. The last question for today's class for the principles of inheritance. Sorry, my mistake. Principle and process of biotechnology. This statement is incorrect. Again, statements, four statements are given. You have to identify the incorrect statement. Now here instead of plural it is singular, but in all options it is two statements are given. So which statements is incorrect here? Genetic engineering is also called recombinant DNA technology. So of course it is the correct statement. Bacteriophages is not used, I just told recombinant DNA technology or genetic engineering, they are synonymous one. At both places, we are adding and removing or joining two genes, different genes. So therefore, both are same. Bacteriophages is not used as a vector. So bacteriophages are used as vector. Just thought in the previous questions, even bacteriophages are used as a vector to transfer the gene into the bacteria as a host cell. So therefore, 2 is what is given incorrect. Okay, it is not used as a vector, they are saying it is used as a vector. So incorrect. Malayalam is a palindrome. It's a correct one because if you read this word and either direction you get Malayalam only, no other words, no other sound you will not write. It is Malayalam from M-A-L-A-Y-A-L-A-M. And even if you read from the opposite side, you will get the same. So it is correct one. Ethidium bromide cannot be used for staining DNA. Even this I have told. After our gel slab, we put stain, and that stain is ethidium bromide, which gives orange color for extracting the DNA, that is illusion. So it is also incorrect. So 2 and 4 is the incorrect. So option B. So I'll stop this class discussion for the chapter Principle and Process of Biotechnology. Next YouTube program will be on the next other second chapter, Application of Biotechnology. Okay, thank you very much. ಅಂದರೆ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಬೇರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೂ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಇದು ಒಂದು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್, ಯೂನಿಟಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇದು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್.